Have you ever felt like you're walking a path that no one seems to understand? Like you're constantly dismissed, or worse, overlooked by those who should have seen your value? It's as if you're playing an unwritten part in a story that only you can see, and the world around you is blind to your purpose. Well, let me tell you this. Being a chosen one isn't a curse. It's the greatest gift that the universe has given you, though it often feels like a burden. Have you ever wondered why it seems like the world keeps rejecting you? Why do others fail to recognize your worth, even when you know in your heart that you are destined for something greater? Maybe you feel like your presence has been overlooked, your efforts ignored, and your heart misread. Yet deep down, you've always known that you were meant for something more. This is the reality of being a chosen one. You're misunderstood by others, but more importantly, you're misunderstood by yourself at times too. What does it mean to be chosen? It's not about being special in the traditional sense. It's about walking a unique path that most people aren't ready to walk, about embracing a potential that others can't see because their vision is clouded by their own limitations. Being chosen means you're meant to break through the noise of the world, to rise above the limitations that everyone else accepts as their fate. The strength within you, that invisible force, is the very essence of who you are. But this strength doesn't come without sacrifice. The path you walk is not for the faint-hearted. It comes with rejection, isolation, and an inner struggle that many will never understand. You are often left to carry your burdens alone, to fight battles no one else can see, and to overcome obstacles that others never even imagined. Yet here you are, still standing, still fighting, still believing in the power within you. This journey, this path that seems so lonely, is actually shaping you into someone who will one day have the power to change the world. You may not see it now, but the strength that is hidden within you, the quiet resilience that keeps you moving forward even when the odds are stacked against you, is your greatest power. And this is where your story begins, not with a grand moment of recognition, but with the quiet, unseen strength that is slowly building inside of you. The weight of rejection, why being a chosen one feels heavy. Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, but no one else seems to notice? It's as if everyone around you is moving forward, living their lives, and you're stuck in the middle of something heavy, something no one else can see. Being a chosen one often feels like you're trapped between two worlds, one where you know you're destined for greatness, and another where everyone else is blind to it. It's not just about rejection from others, it's the internal battle you face every single day. The world doesn't get you, and sometimes you don't get yourself. There's a heaviness in your chest, a nagging feeling that you're supposed to be somewhere else, doing something greater, but you're held back by forces you can't explain. I've been there. I remember being at a crossroads, knowing there was so much more within me, but constantly being told that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't ready, that my ideas, my dreams, my aspirations weren't valid. And it hurt. Oh, it hurt so deeply, because you start to question yourself. Am I really chosen for something bigger? Why does no one else see it? The weight of rejection isn't just about what others say, it's the silent messages they send when they ignore you, dismiss your ideas, or refuse to acknowledge your potential. But the hardest part of all isn't the rejection itself. No, it's the way it makes you feel. It's the emotional toll it takes when you feel like you're giving everything you've got, only to be met with cold silence. It makes you wonder, why should I keep trying? Why should I keep pushing? But here's the truth. Being chosen often means walking a lonely road, a road that not everyone can follow. Rejection is just part of your journey, but it is not the end of your story. The weight of rejection is heavy, but it's also a tool. It's a tool that forges you into someone stronger, someone who has learned to rise despite the odds. And I promise you, one day, the very people who rejected you will be the ones looking up to you. They'll wish they'd seen your value when they had the chance. But by then, you'll be too far ahead to look back. The void left behind, how your absence creates change. Have you ever noticed how people only start to appreciate what they had when it's gone? It's a painful realization, isn't it? The people who once overlooked you, dismissed your presence, or took you for granted, suddenly realize the weight of your absence. They may never admit it to you, but they can feel it. It's like an invisible force that lingers in the air long after you've walked away. It's the empty space where your energy once was, When you leave, it's not just you walking away. It's a ripple that starts to change everything around you. The people who thought they didn't need you are suddenly confronted with the reality of your value. You see, the void you create when you step away from their lives is far greater than any physical absence. It's the energy you once brought, the support, the wisdom, the love. They may try to fill that void with other people or distractions, but nothing can replace the unique force that was you. I've seen this happen time and time again in my own life. I remember a time when I made the difficult decision to step away from a group of friends who never truly appreciated me. They didn't understand my worth, my potential, and the unique perspective I brought into the room. At first, I was scared. I feared that my absence would be met with indifference. But over time, I saw something remarkable happen. They began to feel the loss. Their lives started to feel incomplete. They couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The absence of my energy, my presence, created a shift. They couldn't replace what I had brought, and that realization was the change they needed to begin to look within themselves. That void created a space for reflection. And that is the power of leaving. Sometimes, the only way people will change is when they feel the weight of what they lost. When you step away from situations or people who fail to recognize your worth, you force them to confront their own shortcomings. They may not admit it to you, but your absence is the catalyst for their transformation. The space you leave behind is the beginning of their self-reflection, and that is how change happens, by creating a void that forces growth. The silent struggle of the rejectors, their obsession with you. It's easy to think that those who rejected you have moved on, that they no longer care about your presence in their lives. But here's a truth that many people don't realize. The ones who rejected you are often the ones who think about you the most. Their rejection isn't a sign of strength. It's a sign of their own inner struggle. Have you ever felt like someone who pushed you away suddenly becomes obsessed with your life, your success, your every move? It's not just curiosity, it's an unspoken obsession, a desperate attempt to hold onto something that once had meaning. I've seen this firsthand. When I made the decision to walk away from someone who had consistently dismissed me, they initially pretended they didn't care. But deep down, I knew they couldn't shake the thought of me. They kept asking about me through mutual friends. They kept checking my social media profiles, trying to piece together how I was doing without them. And though they wouldn't admit it, I could feel their silent struggle. They couldn't escape the fact that they had let go of someone who was once central to their lives. There's a part of them that will always long for the connection they threw away, even if they try to bury it. It's a painful realization, isn't it? That the very people who once rejected you are the ones who will forever be haunted by your absence. They may not admit it openly, but their actions speak louder than any words could. Every question they ask, every moment they linger on your social media posts, is a testament to the fact that they regret letting you go. They are obsessed with you, not because you are inferior, but because you represent something they couldn't keep. And that is their silent struggle. They are trying to reconcile the fact that they walked away from something truly valuable, something they can never get back. And while they may never express it, they will carry that regret with them for the rest of their lives. Because deep down, they know they let go of the very thing that could have changed their world. The chosen one's love and guidance, unreciprocated yet unwavering. Have you ever felt like you've given everything you had, but the person you gave it to couldn't see the value of your love? The kind of love that doesn't ask for anything in return. The kind that flows from your heart without hesitation, without expectation. But somehow, no matter how much you gave, it was never enough. I remember pouring my heart out for someone, hoping they would see the depth of my care, my belief in them, and the ways I had tried to lift them up. But instead of gratitude, all I got was silence. My words were like whispers lost in the wind. The advice I offered seemed to fall on deaf ears, and my encouragement was brushed aside. It was as if they couldn't hear me, or perhaps they just didn't want to. That's the reality of being a chosen one. You're the one who can see the potential in others, even when they can't see it in themselves. You're the one who believes in them, even when they can't believe in themselves. But often, that love and guidance go unreciprocated, and it hurts. It hurts because you know that your guidance could help them avoid the pain they're headed toward, but they won't listen. I watched as someone I deeply cared for continued to spiral, not because they didn't know better, but because they refused to acknowledge the wisdom I tried to share. It was heartbreaking to watch them struggle when I knew I could help them. But here's the truth I learned. Your love and guidance are not wasted, even when they are unreciprocated. Your unwavering belief in them plants a seed, even if you never see it grow. Sometimes, the most powerful change happens not when you can see it, but when it happens quietly in the background. The ones you love may not acknowledge your efforts now, but they will feel the impact of your presence long after you've moved on. And one day, they'll look back and realize that the love and guidance you gave them were the very things they needed to grow. It may take time, it may take years, but your unwavering love has already done its work. Keep giving, keep loving, and keep guiding. Your efforts will bear fruit, even if you never see it yourself. The struggle to grow, why some remain stuck in their own pain. Have you ever tried to help someone who just couldn't let go of their own pain? No matter how much you tried to show them a better way, they remained stuck in the same negative patterns, repeating the same mistakes over and over again. It's frustrating, isn't it? You can see the potential in them, you can see that they have the power to break free, but they just can't see it themselves. I remember trying to help a close friend who was caught in a toxic relationship. I watched as they gave more and more of themselves, only to be drained by someone who didn't care about them in return. I tried to show them how much better life could be if they just walked away, if they just let go of the toxicity. But every time I offered my advice, every time I reached out to help, I was met with resistance. It was as if they were afraid to let go, even though they knew it was holding them back. And it wasn't just the relationship. It was the pain they clung to, the wounds from their past that they refused to heal. They were stuck, and no matter how hard they tried to move forward, they were always tethered to their pain. It made me wonder, why do some people struggle so much to grow? Why do some people stay stuck in their own pain, even when they have the opportunity to break free? The answer, I believe, lies in fear. Fear of change, fear of the unknown. When you've been living with pain for so long, it becomes a part of you. It becomes familiar, even comfortable. And the idea of letting go, of embracing growth, feels terrifying because it means stepping into the unknown. It means facing the fears that you've been running from for years. So you stay stuck. You stay in the pain, even though you know it's not helping you. I've seen it happen time and time again, with friends, with family, and even with myself. It's easy to cling to what's familiar, even when it's unhealthy. But the truth is, growth is never easy. It requires you to face your fears, to let go of the things that no longer serve you, and to embrace change. It requires you to believe that there's something better waiting for you on the other side, and that belief doesn't come overnight. It's a journey, it's a process, and it takes time. If you're watching someone struggle to grow, remember this: you can't force someone to heal. You can't make them let go of their pain. They have to make that choice for themselves. But don't stop offering your love and support. Sometimes, all we need is a gentle reminder that there's more to life than the pain we've been carrying. And when the time is right, they'll make the choice to grow. The chosen one's transformation, finding strength in the struggle. Have you ever felt like your struggles were breaking you down, only to realize they were actually building you up? It's strange how life works like that, isn't it? The very things that seem to tear us apart are often the things that shape us into who we are meant to be. I remember a time in my life when everything felt like it was falling apart. I had just gone through a tough breakup, and I felt like I had lost everything. I was angry, hurt, and confused. It seemed like nothing was going right, and I couldn't see a way out. But then something shifted. I realized that the pain I was feeling, the heartache and frustration, were actually pushing me to grow. They were forcing me to confront my own fears, my own insecurities, and my own limitations. And as much as I hated it at the time, I began to see that this struggle was a necessary part of my transformation. The challenges we face aren't just random obstacles. They are stepping stones to our growth. Each struggle teaches us something valuable, something we can't learn any other way. It's easy to look at a difficult situation and see it as something to avoid, something to escape. But the truth is, it's through the struggle that we find our strength. It's through the pain that we discover our resilience. I can look back on those painful moments now and see how they shaped me into who I am today. They forced me to build a stronger foundation, to become more resilient, and to trust in my own strength. The struggles we face don't define us, how we respond to them does. If we can learn to embrace the struggle, to see it as an opportunity for growth, we can transform even the hardest moments into something beautiful. You are not defined by your struggles, but by the strength you find within them. Each challenge you face is a chance to rise, to become the person you were always meant to be. And the beauty of it all is that the more you struggle, the stronger you become. The more you rise, the more unstoppable you become. You are not the same person you were before the struggle. You are transformed, and that transformation is where your true strength lies. The liberation of moving on, the chosen one's freedom. Have you ever felt the weight of the past holding you back, preventing you from moving forward? It's as if you're carrying a heavy burden that you just can't seem to shake. I know that feeling all too well. There was a time when I felt stuck in a cycle of regret and disappointment, constantly looking back at what had happened, at the mistakes I had made, and the relationships that had ended. It felt like I couldn't escape it. No matter how hard I tried to move on, the past always seemed to haunt me, pulling me back into old patterns. But then, I had a breakthrough. I realized that the only way to truly move forward was to let go of the past. It wasn't easy. Letting go of something that had been such a big part of your life is never easy. But I also realized that holding on to it was keeping me from becoming the person I was meant to be. It was like carrying a bag of stones, every regret, every past mistake, every hurt, all piling up and weighing me down. And I had a choice. I could keep carrying that bag, or I could put it down and set myself free. That moment of realization was the beginning of my freedom. I stopped looking back. I stopped holding onto the past. I started focusing on the present, on the person I was becoming, and on the life I was building. It wasn't an overnight transformation. It took time, patience, and a lot of self-reflection. But once I made the decision to move on, everything started to change. The chains of the past no longer had a hold on. I could finally breathe again. Moving on is liberating because it allows you to let go of the things that no longer serve you. It's not about forgetting the past. It's about accepting it, learning from it, and then letting it go. You have the power to choose your future, to decide who you want to become, and to create a life that aligns with your highest self. The moment you stop looking back is the moment you take your first step into your future. And that future is full of endless possibilities. Moving on is your liberation. It's your freedom, and no one can take that from you. The light they carry, becoming the beacon for others. Have you ever felt like you were meant to be more than just a passing presence in someone's life? Like you had the potential to make a real impact, to inspire, and to be a source of guidance, even when you feel lost yourself? I've always known that there was something inside of me, something that was meant to shine, but for the longest time, I didn't know how to let it out. It was like a light buried deep inside, hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and rejection. But as life unfolded, I started to realize that the light I carried wasn't just for me, it was meant to be shared with others. It took me a long time to understand this. I was always focused on my own struggles, my own challenges, and how I could overcome them. But slowly, I started to notice something profound. The more I healed, the more I worked on my own growth, the more others started to notice. They saw something in me, something they hadn't seen before. Maybe it was my strength, my resilience, or the way I carried myself despite the struggles I'd faced. And that's when it clicked. I wasn't just healing for myself. I was healing to be a beacon for others. You see, when you walk a difficult path, when you rise from your own struggles and learn to overcome the obstacles in your life, you become a living testament to the possibility of change. Your journey becomes the light that others need to see in order to believe in their own potential. I remember a time when a close friend reached out to me, someone who had been going through their own hardships, feeling lost and uncertain. They told me they had been watching me for a while, seeing how I handled my own pain, how I stayed true to my path despite everything. And in that moment, I realized something. I had become the beacon of hope for them. I had become the light they needed to find their way. It wasn't because I had all the answers or because I was perfect. It was because I was real. I was authentic. I showed up even on my worst days. I allowed myself to be vulnerable and shared my struggles openly. In doing so, I allowed others to see that it was okay to be imperfect, to stumble, and to rise again. Your light is not in your perfection. It is in your willingness to be human. When you embrace your own struggles, you create a space for others to do the same. And that's when you become a true beacon. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be yourself. The light you carry is unique, and when you shine it, you give others permission to shine as well. You become the inspiration they need to rise from their own darkness, to believe that there is a way forward, and to trust that they are capable of overcoming whatever challenges they face. And in this way, you change the world. It's not about grand gestures or being famous. It's about being real, being present, and shining your light for others to see. It's about showing up and being the kind of person who lifts others up, even when you don't feel like it yourself. And in doing so, you not only transform their lives, you transform your own. Letting go of the past, the importance of forward movement. Have you ever felt like your past was holding you back, like you were chained to old memories, old wounds, and old versions of yourself? For the longest time, I couldn't move forward because I was too focused on the past. The mistakes I had made, the people who had hurt me, and the things I had lost, all of those things seemed to haunt me, and I couldn't shake them off. I was living in the past, constantly replaying old memories, trying to understand where things went wrong. But the more I focused on what had already happened, the more stuck I became. I couldn't see the future because I was too consumed with the past, and maybe you felt the same way. Maybe you've been stuck in that cycle of regret, pain, and what-ifs, believing that your past defines you, believing that it has power over your future. But here's something I've learned. The past only has power over you if you let it. You see, the more I held onto my past, the more I let it dictate who I was becoming. It wasn't until I realized that my past didn't define me that I started to see the light of the future. Letting go of the past isn't about forgetting or erasing the pain. It's about making a conscious decision to release its hold on you. It's about choosing to move forward, even when the weight of the past feels unbearable. The moment I made that decision, I began to see how much energy I had been wasting, holding on to things that I couldn't change. The truth is, there's nothing you can do to change the past. It's over, done, and gone. What you can change is how you move forward. I had to learn that my future wasn't tied to my past. My potential wasn't limited by the mistakes I'd made or the things I couldn't control. The moment I started letting go, I felt lighter, freer, and more open to new possibilities. I stopped looking behind me and started looking ahead. And that shift changed everything. It allowed me to open myself up to new opportunities, to new people, and to a new way of living. I started to realize that the most important thing I could do was to keep moving forward. The past no longer had a hold on me, and I finally understood that the only way to truly grow was to release the things that no longer served me. So, if you find yourself stuck in the past, know that you have the power to move on. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from the chains that hold you back. It means trusting that there's something better ahead, that you are capable of creating a new future, and that your past doesn't have to define your destiny. The importance of forward movement is simple. It's the key to unlocking your true potential. It's the door that leads to the life you've always wanted. And it's only by moving forward that you'll discover who you were always meant to be. Conclusion: claiming your power and embracing your future. At some point in life, we all have to make a choice. Will we continue to let our past, our mistakes, and our fears hold us back, or will we claim our power and embrace the future that is waiting for us? I remember a time when I was afraid to take that step, when I was terrified of what the future might hold. I had spent so much time looking backward, so much time replaying the past, that I forgot what it felt like to dream about the future. But one day, I woke up and realized that the future wasn't something to fear, it was something to embrace. And that's when everything changed. Claiming your power is about understanding that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not defined by what has happened to you. You are defined by how you respond to life. The power has always been inside of you. it's just waiting for you to claim it. The moment you decide to take control of your life, to stop letting your past dictate your present, you step into your true power. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. It takes courage, it takes strength, and it takes a deep belief in yourself. But I promise you, once you decide to claim your power, everything changes. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to see the beauty in your own strength, and you realize that you are capable of far more than you ever thought possible. Embracing your future means letting go of the limitations you've placed on yourself. It means taking the steps, however small, toward the person you want to become. It means choosing to move forward with faith, even when you can't see the entire path ahead. And trust me, the path will reveal itself as you walk it. You don't need to have all the answers right now. All you need is the courage to take that first step. The future is yours to create. Your power is yours to claim. And once you do, there is nothing that can stop you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. So, what are you waiting for? Claim your power. Embrace your future. You are ready. You always have been.